Which of the following is the strongest acid? Strength of acid depends on what type of an acid it is. Sulfuric acid is a weak acid. Carbonic acid is a weak acid. Ethanoic acid is a weak acid. We don't really care what the concentration is. A strong acid is one that dissociates readily, and the strongest of those is nitric acid. Which of the following is the strongest base? Again, this is inherent to the actual substance. Aluminium hydroxide is group 3 hydroxide, weak. Ammonia defined as weak. Magnesium hydroxide, group 2, slightly stronger than aluminium hydroxide, but still considered weak. The only one that's strong is a group 1 hydroxide, which is potassium hydroxide. Which of the following is the most concentrated? Now, concentration has got to do with the molarity. So, in other words, the biggest number in terms of molarity is the most concentrated acid, so that's 2 molar. Which of the following bases would have the highest electrical conductivity? In other words, the most ions in solution, and that means it needs to be a strong base again, because lots of ions mean that it will conduct electricity and it dissociates readily. Now, that would suggest that potassium hydroxide is our answer, but the fact of the matter is this is really, really dilute potassium hydroxide, so it's not going to form a lot of ions, and even though aluminium hydroxide doesn't dissociate as easily, it is a whole lot more concentrated. I mean, that's 20 times more concentrated, so there's 20 times more ions that could go into solution. So the chances are that that would probably actually conduct electricity a bit better. There's a bit of debate, but this is a big difference. This is very dilute, that's very concentrated. So even though it's weak, it does make more ions in solution. Which of the following represents a dissociation? This is an ionization where a covalent molecule forms ions with water. Again, covalent forms ions, ionization. Covalent forms ions, ionization. Those are all acids. The bases tend to, or the salts tend to dissociate. So the sodium chloride in the presence of water becomes a sodium ion and the chloride ion. So D is my correct answer. Which of the following represents an ionization? Now, ionizations are when we have 2 covalent molecules making ions. This should be a subscript 3 over there, not a superscript, but that is still 2 covalent molecules making ions. That is a dissociation. The ionic lattice breaks up, the ionic lattice breaks up, the ionic lattice breaks up. Which of the following is most likely to have a pH of 13? So it has to be a basic substance. This is an acid, this is an acid. This is a base, this is a base. So we're on 50-50. This is a weak base, this is a strong base, and 13 is a very high pH. So that is your most likely substance to have a pH of 13. Which is most likely to have a pH of 2? Extremely acidic, again, acid, acid, base, base. We're looking at the 2 acids, we're on 50-50. This is a weak acid, and this is a strong one, and that is an extreme version of the pH scale. It's a very low pH, so it is most likely to be your hydrogen chloride or hydrochloric acid. Which of the following does not describe the following reaction? This is when water spontaneously breaks up into its ions. It doesn't do this very well. I mean, the Kc value is 10 to the negative 7. It's really small, but it is known as autoprotolysis. It is called self-ionization. It takes itself and it makes ions. Auto-ionization all by itself makes ions. The equilibrium constant of water, no, that's Kc or Kw, and that is equal to 1,7 times 10 to the negative, 1 times 10 to the negative 7. So this is your incorrect, does not describe.